since it's heated up already, I'm going to take a teaspoon of garlic. I have 2 pounds of thighs that are already chopped up. You can use breast too, this was on sale. Normally I would also have onion, but I forgot the onion at the store. And I season after it's cooked, but I put the onion powder in first, so it cooks this flavor into the meat. Just kind of let that kind of stir fry itself up. Okay, so once you kind of stir fried and sauteed your chicken, it's like almost cooked. It's probably slightly pink on the inside. I'm going to add my seasoning. So I'm going to use garlic salt, whatever garlic salt you like to use. We buy Lawry's in our house. And season it to your taste. I already put garlic in there already, so it's more or less just to bring out the salt. And because this is the chicken, you don't want to over season it, because you are going to season it when you mix the risotto in. Okay, some pepper. We use McCormick. So what chicken is done. What I do is take a bowl and actually put it on the side, because I like to cook my risotto separately and then combine the chicken in it. Use your pan again. Now I'm going to take a little bit more garlic. Some more olive oil, which I'm out, can you tell? Gotta buy more garlic, more olive oil for the house. So I'm gonna take a little bit of butter, about a tablespoon of butter. You don't want your butter to burn. And then I am using the easy ready to make risotto, because it's got a ton of flavor in it already. So that's basically the one I'm using, the risotto blend. I don't know if you guys have this where you are at, but it's got the arboreal rice, onion, mushrooms, garlic, sun-dried tomatoes, basil, and parsley in it already. And I make all of it, which is 2 cups. And you kind of want to fry it up. Not so that it burns, but you it really heats up the rice. It allows it to absorb the liquid a lot better. And if you need to add more butter, go ahead. Like a tablespoon at a time. Make sure it's coated with the butter and the oil. You can tell because the size of it would have reduced a little just from frying it. Okay, and then I like to add 1 cup at a time of chicken broth. You can use beef broth if you want, vegetable. Some people will put in a bunch of liquid at a time. I like to put in 1 cup at a time because it allows you to slowly deglaze the pan from the chicken and everything else that's in there. And basically when you make risotto, it is all about stirring and standing here and waiting. But as you can see, all the herbs and everything's in there. It just looks really good. So I'm going to keep going at this and add a few cups at a time. What I like to do is, after I add the liquid, I wait for this to reduce. It starts to thicken, almost to where it's frying again, and then I add some more liquid. And the liquid will then deglaze the pan. I'll keep doing that for about 5 cups of chicken broth. And then I can start pouring it in larger quantities. Okay, so I'm going to let this go. And it's time again to start pouring in my other chicken broth. I'm using the Best Yet brand from Foodland. See how it's like thickened out, absorbed all the liquid. And there you go again. It's going to start taking longer to absorb the liquid as you add more. So this is just a very, very long process, but if it's done correctly, risotto is delicious. It's slow moving, but because it's constant stirring almost, you don't want it to burn. And you have to put several layers of liquid in there. Like I said, we're probably going to go about 6 to 8 cups worth of chicken broth, and it's going to basically double to triple in size, the amount. So little by little. For flavoring, there are several things you can do. Like I said, I like to buy the pre-made ones because they already have, but other than that, I love using sun-dried tomatoes, mushrooms. I also love truffles, black truffles, white truffles. Nobody in my house really likes to eat it. So what I do is I have truffle oil and truffle shavings, and I put that in my own once it's done. Once it's done cooking, and we make separate plates. That way no one else will have that flavor. Basil, oregano, any type of Italian seasonings work well as well. So I'm going to continue stirring this. Okay, so I've put in 3 cups already of chicken broth. This is my 4th. As you can see, it's doubled in size, maybe even tripled, and it's really thickened out. So this is my 4th cup. I am still running the fire on about number 4, so about medium. And just taking its time, letting it slowly go through each cup of liquid and basically reducing down. As it reduces, it thickens, and the risotto, the arborio rice, actually doubles in size. And again, like I said, just keep stirring because you don't want it to burn, and you don't want it to burn to the bottom of the pan. Okay, now you can tell that it's starting to cook and near that part where it's almost done. The texture of the rice is soft, or it looks a lot softer. Like I said, it's larger. It looks a little bit more like traditional white rice because it's thickened up and puffed up basically. And the liquid is actually getting in there a lot faster. If you want, you can take a little spoon and do a small taste test. Just to see if it's soft, because you want your rice to be nice and soft like pasta. It's almost there. I'm thinking 1 more cup, which we can pour in right now. See when you do that, how it slowly just caves in. It's not completely liquidy. So you would take your cup of rice. Your cup of chicken broth. Go ahead and pour that in. This may be the last cup. There's directions on the package. I never ever follow them. Unless I'm baking, I usually will follow something. But when it comes to this, it usually comes to taste and texture. And you don't want it to taste like hard, crunchy rice, like I said. You want it to be soft like pasta. You want this to really get in there. Let that rice soak up the liquid so it softens up, puffs up a little bit more, and then you can add the chicken. You can actually season more now if you want. So I'm going to add garlic salt. You want this liquid to reduce down. You don't want it to be liquidy like this. It's supposed to look like rice. Okay, so it's reduced pretty much all the way. There's slight liquid in there, but when you, again, the test is to kind of scoop your spoon through and you can see how fast the little mountain goes. So now what we're going to do, you can taste it. You can taste it to make sure that it's soft. It has enough flavor, which it is, and it is. And now you're going to add your chicken in. We dumped in all the flavoring from the chicken because that's also going to reduce down. And we'll let this cook up a little bit more, but you are pretty much done. You can season with various herbs if you want when you put them on a plate. Again, like I said, I like to put truffles in mine, truffle oil and truffle shavings, but I usually do that when it's ready to serve, just because I'm the only one in my house that really eats it. You can also add asparagus in here now if you want, which we would normally do. But I forgot to pick up asparagus when I went to the store. And that's basically it. I like to cook it a little bit more just to make sure that the chicken is fully cooked. It is, but just to make sure. And that's basically it, everybody. Risotto.